is gonna be low energy.
Oh, not on this side, brother. Oh, yeah.
Ready to watch stuff!
Let's get ready to rumble! Anybody want to feel it?
Look at the state of me.
Yeah, you're sweating.
Fucking like it's just
Sweating like a can.
It's just alcohol coming out of me.
See, I'm a naturally pale person.
Showtime!
I feel really bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not a trick of the light we're seeing there, man.
Oh my god. Somebody else is gonna have to take the fucking reins on this one. Honestly. What did you watch? What is he fucking on?
I don't remember. That's Jake the Snake Roberts intro tune. I don't remember. It's very gay. Oh no, sorry. It's very
Oh, here we
not
go.
going down that road straight away.
There's a new record.
I'm not dying on that hill after 30 seconds.
Oh, brilliant. Beep.
And on that bombshell, the little little fucking paper ones look like, you look like a 70s bikini.
The way you say, Ed looks like a little jockey there.
I am. I've literally shrank.
Little ventriloquist dummy. Got like here.
I'm so dehydrated, I've shrank.
I just want to see. No, Chris's mouth isn't moving while you're. That's very good, Chris. You can bring that on tour.
Okay.
Look, you can do it while you're drinking.
Silent and profiling!
Dickhead who fucking is trying to control the
Turn his
air.
mic off. Turn his mic off.
Hey, look at
I'm back. Mute Pong.
Okay, so this is Idiots Who Watch Stuff, episode 11. 80s wrestlers.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Going down.
I love this. Oh my god. Just keep muting them. Oh my god. Are you back?
He is not. Yay! I won! I finally won! So 80s wrestling, back in the days before steroids, when it was,
No, there were steroids in the 80s.
towards the end, like the
No,
early 80s, you
I
can't
don't-
look at those guys and tell me they were doing steroids.
Yeah.
Vince
They were
McMahon, I
drinking-
think. Wasn't Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan, their trial was in the 80s.
Yeah, but that... Okay, so the early 80s and the 70s, moving up, my era for professional wrestling, the Road Warriors,
Yeah.
Boogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, the great Kabuki.
Oh,
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
cut.
Those were my, pro wrestlers.
Wait.
But
You see, me and Ed coming from this side of the water, our first probably wrestlers that we saw were Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks and all, with Dickie Davis introducing them on World of Sport on ITV.
Was it a Saturday afternoon or something like that?
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And that's actually, it was weird because that was the first way I saw WWF was every so often in that time slot they would throw in WWF. And and of course we'd all be out in the street going, yeah, because did you watch it? Because the American one's real.
I don't remember who the wrestler was that was up there, but it was like a school gymnasium, and he's standing up in the top of the bleachers, and they give him the mic, and he's like, "People say wrestling ain't real, but it's real to me, damn it!" Your poor mother,
Because when you listen, because the one thing that all these old wrestlers have done since they retired, now that in the days of smartphones and internet, is they're all doing podcasts. So all the stories coming out, like a lot of those promoters back in those days, you know, the regional ones was like, if someone starts on you or you start on someone and you're outside and you're in a town where we're going to wrestle,
Yeah.
you lose that fight, you're sacked, you're out. So it's fake in the ring, but it's very much, you know, you're taking on like pool cues, whatever you got to do, you win that fight.
Well, that's what happened to Dave Schultz. You know, Dr. D.
Yeah.
Well,
No, he wasn't. That was Dr. Death's.
No, it's Dr.
Schultz.
D. Dave Schultz. He's
The
brought into the WWF.
Olympic wrestler.
No, he was brought in to be like Hogan's sort of heel.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
main
not
heel.
it. That's not him.
It is him.
That's Steve Williams, Dr.
It's not.
Death.
It's Dave Schultz.
Dave Schultz
Dr.
was
D.
the guy in
Dr.
in
D,
Box
not
Hunter.
Dr. Death. Dr. D. You fucking
Dave Schultz.
moron.
Oh yeah.
So this guy from 60 Minutes had done an expose on wrestling.
Yeah.
And called it fake. And he'd gotten some wrestler to actually show him moves in the ring and all that, and show him, like, and basically go on camera and say that it's fake. So he turns up at a WWF event and gets backstage, and he's talking to Dave Schultz on camera, and he goes, you know, what do you think of the claim that wrestling's fake? And Dave Schultz just draws out and smacks him.
Yes.
He gets up, he smacks him again.
A few little mad stories, and one of them is, remember Haku? He was like a big fucking South Sea Islander fella. I think he was
Yeah, big Simone
a
guy.
massive fucking fella. They were in an airport bar. Him and a couple of the other wrestlers were in an airport bar one night, and a couple of the locals were there. Fuck this, let's fucking harass the bastards. So they started going, oh, what the fuck? Look at them fucking pricks over in the corner, you know. Wrestling's fake, wrestling's fake. So Haku was, oh, wrestling's fake, is it? Wrestling's fake. Grabbed the biggest fella and bit his nose off.
Fucking bit his nose off.
And that's what it says. Haku was sued, but to this day recalls the story with fondness. He didn't warn the guy or try another solution first. He just simply bit his nose off.
Look, when you're facing multiple opponents in an unfamiliar spot,
Yeah.
you have to go extreme on the first guy.
Yeah.
Throw him in the fire.
Like, who was your...
Remember they did, there was, it was much later now, I don't think it was in the 80s, but they did a thing called Brawl for All. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where they
watched
actually got
that.
in and punched the head off each other.
Yeah. They got the...
It was the toughest.
It was apparent. I remember listening to a podcast that Jim Ross was saying that it was a new fella who'd come in that Vince liked, a very young fella who went, what if they really fought? And Vince went, oh, because MMA or whatever was, you know, there was UFC 1 or whatever. And they just decided that, yeah, let's do it. But unfortunately, what they did was they killed about 3 or 4 careers.
Yeah.
Like lads that were genuinely on the up and coming on the wrestling side got knocked out cold.
Yeah. Dan Severn was in it.
Dan Severn was in it and didn't win it.
He won his match, but then pulled out of the tournament.
Right.
I think he fucking done his hamstring in or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's what I always said with, you know, the whole, wrestling's fake. Okay, great. But the level of athleticism it takes to not fucking kill someone doing those moves. You know, you do a pile driver in real life, you kill them.
Yeah.
You know, and or at the very best, they're going to be sitting in a fucking corner fingerprinting for the rest of their life. You know.
Well, didn't that happen to Stone Cold? Didn't he fucking break his back or something like that?
I think he there was, because there always used to be these stories of fellas who didn't quite get it and were like dangerous to fucking work with. And
Goldberg's one of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I think someone done a fucking pile driver on Stone Cold, and like Stone Cold's like fucking wrapped up in all sorts of different contortions, say to the ref, "Get that cunt away from me! Fucking just get him to fucking pin me because I can't fucking move."
Well, remember the poor fucker that would come out there in, like, the Greco-Roman fucking, the red shirt basically that would just come out and just wailed on,
the Brooklyn Brawler was like that for
the appetizer.
Yeah, the Brooklyn Brawler was like that for years. he would try and get people over the whole time. But like, it was him. He would just get battered by everybody. This new up and comer, he'd batter him every week.
Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
One of the Macho Man's younger brother.
Yeah, he was the poet fella. Leaping Lanny Poffo. He would come. Unfortunately for him, wasn't it? He would come out and have a poem on a frisbee, and like sometimes he'd just be.
What?
Yeah.
So
How
the
have I
idea,
never seen this?
Oh,
so the idea would be that he'd throw the poem into the crowd and somebody would catch it. But of course, it would always be that a heel would smash him into the back of the head as he's reading out his poem. So not only was he much smaller than them, he'd get cheap shotted as well.
Fuck, I'm gonna do that on stage.
What's his name?
Yeah, that's good.
Leaping Lenny Poffo, was it?
Leaping Lanny Poffo, but he ended up becoming the scholar.
What?
Yeah, he turned heel a couple of years later and became the scholar, and he'd come out and you know the graduation gowns with the
Yeah.
fucking, what's it called,
The
the
mortarboard, yeah, with a fucking tassel. Oh my god.
And he still do the same thing, like still reading the poem and all that. Like.
Fucking Britannica from Glow. Oh, I love that.
Because you'd always get the like you know the way you like back in the day. Sorry,
What are you doing over
I was
there?
moving.
What is going on?
I keep waiting
I
to
was-
see the.
I was in
see
the,
flop, you know.
I was in my upstairs manor, and I noticed the internet was dropping out, so I've come down to.
All right.
But yeah, he always had that weird fucking. You know, it's like why is Sergeant Slaughter hanging out with Ivan
Yeah.
Drago now? Come on, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Or yeah, when that was a brilliant angle. Remember when the Iraq War started and they were there, quick, dig up the Iron Sheik and get him with Sergeant Slaughter. And so Sergeant Slaughter turned heel on his country.
Did he?
Oh yeah. He sided with the Iron Sheik and some other fucking fella.
Nikolai Volkov.
And then Hulk Hogan kicked his ass.
Watch that thing on that voice thing on you know, the Dark Side of the Ring on that guy New Jack.
No.
Oh, I fucking told you to watch it. Fuck me. What a lunatic. He'd take all these massive bumps right off like trucks and shit like that.
Oh.
And one guy messed up fucking him off, whatever the fuck he was fucking him off. And like I think he fucking dislocated his shoulder or something. Or no, he cracked the skull, sorry. He cracked the skull and was in a coma for a day or two. Got out of the coma and like 6 months later, because like we're having a rematch, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
They made it like, oh, it's gonna be the biggest bump anybody's ever gonna take. So they built this huge big platform, and the two of them climbed all the way up to the fucking platform. It's fucking like so high, and then just ran at each other. But unbeknownst to the other guy, New Jack had brought a stun gun with him. Stuns him. You can see all this on voice. Stuns him, right? And then fucks him off the thing, like not messing, like trying to kill him. Man just like he hits the ropes and bounces into the ring. Like he's just blessed he didn't bounce out.
Jesus Christ. Stun gun.
But he also stabbed the guy in the ring.
Yeah.
Fucking
He
lunatic.
stabbed the guy in what organization was this?
Oh, was it easy?
San Quentin Wrestling.
He had a fucking blade with him in his
Shit.
shorts. And your man came
What,
in and
Fucking up the prison wallet and just came out with a shank, just to sharpen
He literally
his toothbrush. And
Yeah.
shanks him in the fucking ring.
Next
Like, he
next
got
week,
done for it now, like.
next week, I'm fighting you in a prison shower match.
Fuck Atlanta street fight, man.
You see, your
We're gonna
man,
do a Joliet shower.
Yeah.
WWF to
WWE
WWE.
because of World Wildlife.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because of the whoa.
Shut up.
Whoever.
Don't make me fucking meet you again, man.
Ed's taken one too many headshots.
Oh, be a chaos warrior.
I am with a foreign object again.
You could just imagine back in the day, you know, the World Wildlife Fund, like another phone call comes in. Can I speak to? No, we're not the World Wrestling Federation. We are.
some poor switchboard operator gets
Yeah.
gets the "Leave Miss Elizabeth alone" call 17
Oh,
times. Yeah.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Did you ever see the South Park episode where they did
That's not real
wrestling?
wrestling.
That's not wrestling. This is. Look, whatever kind of gay shit you want to do at home, that's on you. That's fine, but but I just always love that one little kid's had 16 abortions. Okay.
Whoa!
Andre the Giant was notorious for being the type of wrestler who was great to you if he liked you and not so great if he didn't. And if he didn't, there wasn't a whole lot you could do about it. He was huge and demanded respect. And they're talking about all the odd tendencies, but one trick he'd pull on you if he didn't like you was he at one stage during the match he would check your oil.
Oh my God.
Those
And
fingers?
the rumor has it that he was always threatening to do it to Hulk Hogan. And the first time that he stuck his finger up Hogan's hole was WrestleMania 3. And and the size of his fucking hands.
Oh my
An
God,
oil
my asshole's actually twitching.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
An oil change from Andre the Giant.
Oh!
Woo-wee.
But
Did he just rhyme everything in that?
no, that was
That
a
was the
game.
end of
That was the game that him and Inigo were always playing, and Vicini was getting pissed off at him for. Stop rhyming! I need it. Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah. Oh, I have watched that.
Oh
The other great story I
yeah.
love.
Play with Baba, just here for your toes.
Because the other great fella that I liked was actually was in WCW when Hulk Hogan was champion was Harley Race, who just again, if you didn't know he was tough, just look at his noggin.
He's like an 80s Irish star.
Yeah,
Isn't he?
he's got a
Just
ginger
stepped out of a
perm.
Roddy Doyle book.
Yeah.
Definitely in the rap.
Like he was the WCW champion, and of course he just got sick and tired of everyone going, Hulk Hogan to kill you, you know, all the kids. So it just so happened that WCW and WWF were in the same town at the same time. So he, I think it's in the Ric Flair documentary where, what are you doing, Harley? And like he could see him packing a handgun into a bag. He says, I'm going over there to see Hulk Hogan. We're going to find out who the toughest man is. So of course they went, all right, yeah. So all the wrestlers were ringing the WWF going, listen, this is no joke. We're not ribbing you this time. Harley Race is genuinely in a car and he's driving over there. We think he might shoot Hulk Hogan. But
This is not staged. Those are not blanks.
Oh my God.
he left the NWA show and turned up at the WWF show looking for Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon with the 9mm gun in his hand. And he said, and he came up, he goes, oh, instead of, I have a much better idea than using the gun. So he thought, I'll tell you what, I'll set the ring on fire so that WWF can't have their show.
I mean, you know.
So
Kill
what
anybody.
happened was he actually managed to find Hulk Hogan in the toilets afterwards, and
I like where this is going.
yeah. So Hulk,
And he brought Andre the Giant's hands.
yeah. So the first thing he said to Hulk Hogan was, "I'm here to blow your kneecaps off."
Fucking hell.
So what the WWF decided was, quick, make him a job offer.
Woo! Woo!
He went for a medical, and the physician, the doctor had said, "What's your drinking routine?" And he goes, "Oh, I'd have, 10 beers, 10 cocktails." And he goes, and this was like 1986 or 87. He goes, "How long have you been doing that?" He goes, Oh, 1972.
Every
And like,
day.
huh?
Every day.
Every day, yeah, just 20 drinks. Like a functioning alcoholic.
That was me thinking I was bad.
You are bad, Ed. You're just not Ric
Yeah,
Flair.
but we just can't even compare to those because like Andre the Giant used to drink like 6 bottles of wine with dinner
Yeah.
after he'd been drinking all day. You know, he'd drink a case of beer on the way to somewhere to go drink. You know,
Yeah, because the whole great thing about that documentary that I think HBO made was like there's a whole section on his flatulence.
Oh,
Like,
oh no!
Yeah, they're just saying because of the quantities of like pain pills, booze, the food. It was just like if you could. They said it was like a car engine or rumbling of a
Heel paint.
yeah, and the smell.
I love the old man Razor Ramon. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He tells
Again,
a gas story. He tells a gas story about when he got into the WWF first.
Yeah.
And he's doing promos or whatever, and Hogan comes over to him after. He's like, "Hey, cat, you know, what are you drinking Heineken for? You should be drinking Coors Light." He's like, "What? Why?" He's like, "Your hand is big enough that you can hold the can without anybody seeing it on camera."
Yeah.
You just drink the whole time.
The small Miller Lite.
Miller Lite,
cans,
sorry.
Miller Lite cans. Because I think isn't it Razor Ramon tells who was his partner was the big fella Kevin.
Oh.
Kevin said, you know, he's about 7 foot as well.
Yes.
They had it like a 2 or 3.
Nash or Kevin Hart?
Kevin Nash, that's it. And they had a 2 or 3 hour drive to the next town. So they bought the case of beer. And like one of them's driving and the other like 12 cans each. And like they remember literally having to pull in an hour later to buy another crate.
My dad judged distance in 6-pack. I didn't know. Here's a fun story. I didn't know it was illegal to drink and drive because everyone that I grew up around
Did it? Yeah.
would drink and drive. My dad would specifically, he'd stop and get, a fucking 12-pack to go up north, So I didn't know that you were not legally allowed to drink and drive until I was told this when I was 21.
Wow.
Because I offered, I was giving a friend of mine a lift home, and I offered him, a shot of the pint of whiskey that I had under my seat. And he just looked at me and was, "What are you doing?" What? You're not allowed to do that. Why?
It's Saturday.
I'm not allowed to do it. I'm not getting drunk.
So
Road beers.
Yet. Nothing accentuates the effects of Percocet like, 119 beers.
You guys remember?
Like Vicodin and beer.
well, that's it. The cocktails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get drunk and pop a Toilex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good night. That's a good night.
Chris just stared off into the distance there with a smile on his face.
Wistful, yeah.
Every time I mention Toilex stuff, he's like, "Oh yeah."
Oh,
That little hug.
warm, hazy memories.
Yeah. It didn't talk back. It didn't give you a hard time. It just said
everything gets a little slower and easier.
Just one more, Chris. Just one more.
Okay.
Because the
yeah, I know. I should have brought
because the other wrestler
Podcast ever.
Yeah, the other wrestler from that kind of time period that I loved at that age was the Ultimate Warrior. But then you hear the stories.
God.
You hear the stories that everybody hated him because he didn't know what he was doing, and he was a prick.
Was he a prick?
Oh yeah. Apparently, he was an absolute prick.
I did hear that he hadn't a clue what he was doing.
Hadn't a clue. Injured loads of people.
Injured loads of people. Yeah.
But there's again, there's another story. Bret Hart was in the locker rooms, and in walks the Ultimate Warrior, and he crushed up a packet of chocolate chip cookies,
Yeah.
and
And
proceeded
snorted them?
to snort the chocolate chip cookie. To which Bret Hart goes, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I just prefer them this way." And then and Whispery's hotel, Whispery's hotel and room number into her ear.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause that was it. Remember that he used to shout, "What I'd like now is for all you fat losers to shut up, so that your lady can look at a real man."
And you get the sweat up.
But isn't it like when you look back though, and you genuinely see blokes going, "Fuck that guy, I don't like him."
Well, he's a prick.
The managers, like the Jimmy Harts and all that. Remember there was the guy with the tennis racket. What was he called? Jim Cornette.
God.
Was it? But he had said it got Jim Cornette, was it?
Yeah, wow, God.
Yeah, with the glasses and the
Brain
tennis
hurt,
racket. But he had said it got so bad because he was so good at being a heel, everyone detested him. It got to a stage one night because he'd have a tennis racket. He actually put a horseshoe in the tennis racket. And he was going out, a guy came at him and he hit him straight in the face with the horseshoe.
Oh my God.
Knocked the guy out. They're saying apparently there was a one of them big cowboy type promoters who used to, Cowboy Bill Watts was his name. And so
I have a Cowboy Bill Watts story.
Hold on. So what happened was they all the crowd and all your man's mates came backstage trying to get Jim Cornette, and like your man Cowboy Bill Watts is there, right? Get him out the back door. I'll deal with these guys, and beat the shit out of all the guys who came backstage. Because again, that was the rule. If they come at you, you beat the shit out of them.
Oh my God.
And he says, like, the thing was, the cops wouldn't do it because the cops were all working security when they'd be in the town. So they'd all be all the cops would be on overtime going, "I ain't messing this gig up."
Jesus Christ.
Go, Chris.
I was going to bring up Cowboy Bill Watts. This is really funny that you did, because I was at a barbecue at Cowboy Bill Watts' house.
What?
In Tulsa, Oklahoma, because my mother worked for him. Was not his accountant, but worked in his like accounting department for a while, and he gave out oil rig rights as people's Christmas bonuses, because that's what he did after he got out of wrestling. Is he went into oil. So he would give people for Christmas, he would give them stock in his oil wells.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. I mean, he was, he's a redneck, but
I think he was very much one of those. He was of his time. So when the WWF and the WCWs, they just started buying up these fellas, and of course they made their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's like one of the rare wrestlers that came out of that time that actually went and did something smart and got out, and he was incredibly wealthy. So yeah, he was. That's really funny.
How big? I don't really have a pic. How big was he?
He was a pretty big dude. I mean, he was really. I mean, he was fucking. When I met him, he was
a little old man.
Past middle age, but so he was big, big stocky dude. But I mean,
you could have took him as
I
well.
wouldn't want to get punched by him.
You could have cheap shotted him with a chair at the barbecue and seen if he still had it.
I wouldn't have cheap shotted him with a gun.
There's a brilliant story about what was the name of the big guy who used to have like was it Van Vader? The big.
Oh, with the mask.
With the mask.
Yeah,
he speaks about going, because apparently, you might get 6 months, 5 months in America, but then you would go to Japan for 5-6 months. And there was a guy called Stan Hansen who was like, again, like the toughest motherfucker coming, and he would, let's hit each other. And then we'll work out the match, but we will hit each other. but apparently he
Hanson,
got
he's so hot right now.
Yeah.
Hanson.
yeah. So but his gimmick at the start of the match was that he
That's on Netflix right now.
he would come out with a rope with a cowbell on the end of it and swing it around like a bullhorn.
Whoa!
But his eyesight wasn't very good, so he didn't realize that Van Vader was getting in the ring. And in fact, the way Van Vader says, "I'm getting in the ring. I'm just about to be introduced," and the bullhorn hits me in the eye, and my eye comes out of my eye socket.
Yeah.
And he says he's trying to tell Stan Hansen that you have to take. So he said he's pushing his eye back into his eye socket while your man starts hitting him. So he said the only thing I could do was hit him harder back. So he said, for the crowd, it looked amazing because they knocked the shit. Because of course Stan's there thinking, "Oh, that's how you want it then."
It's on. Yeah.
So they just knocked the shit out of each other
Fucking eye hanging out.
with his eye hanging out of its socket. Just because your man's eyesight
Actually
was
trained
very
on
good.
how to
back
treat
in.
that. No, not pop it back in. No, actually, what they train you to do is take like a coffee cup and just kind of put it over it and tape it all in place. The worst part of it is
You can see through it.
you can see through
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see this.
No.
I've never actually. Now, for the record, I've never actually treated one, but I have been trained on how to treat a fucking.
I saw a fucking street fight outside Jervis shopping centre one time, and a guy stuck his finger in another dude's eye, and
A gouge.
you could literally see the finger under here,
Jesus. Game of Thrones.
it was like popping out through the skin. It was like, I was in the car and it stuck in traffic.
Yeah, you puked in your man's eye socket.
But it wasn't a finishing move. But my favorite thing was always when George the Animal Steel would eat the turnbuckles.
Yeah.
You know,
And then,
or chairs. You know, take a chair and fucking rip all the foam out and eat it, or eat a turnbuckle.
your fucking face is gonna eat it then. You knew
Like
you would get done.
You can imagine George the Animal Steel going to see his career guidance counselor, and she's just there. Circus or wrestling? Circus or wrestling? No one's going in. No, if you're doing heart surgery, they ain't staying on the table.
Do you guys remember they did like a little vignette, and I think it was Macho Man and Elizabeth on holiday in Hawaii, and they're like under this waterfall or something like that, and next of all George the Animal Steel comes out and grabs her, puts her over his shoulder, and legs it off.
Yeah, that always used to be the wink. Nothing can go wrong when wrestlers would get married in the ring. Yeah, this is gonna go smoothly.
King Kong Bundy.
Oh my God! Yes.
He did not look right. He did not look right. I don't care what.
Yeah.
Wait, I think it was King Kong Bundy that actually did the fucking nobody can body slam me thing.
Oh, was that it? Yeah.
First.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like nobody can get me over their head.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the match with him and Hillbilly Jim? And they both of them had two little people with them.
Oh,
You ever see that one?
Mini-me's?
Yeah.
I think I have seen that. I think
And
I have
fucking
seen
King
that.
Kong Bundy belly splashes one.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
And they were like, the match got called off, and there was little fellas like dragging him out of the ring and all, giving King Kong Bundy the finger and all as he's walking off. Like,
Squish like a fucking toothpaste too.
I actually thought when I seen it, I thought, oh, the guy's dead.
Because
I've just watched
remember
him murder. I've just watched him get murdered on a Thursday evening.
because remember in the British wrestling, Big Daddy slipped.
That's right, yeah.
Big Daddy slipped coming off the top rope and killed.
You don't remember the Montreal Screwjob?
No. I always thought that was a sex position.
That was
you put poutine on the anyway.
Bret Hart
It's
is
not
there,
important.
yeah.
and Shawn Michaels is there.
Yeah, Bret Hart is the champion, but he's
But like he was
done a
leaving
deal.
WCW.
Yeah, he's
Well, he
done a
wouldn't-
deal with them.
Yeah, but obviously he was the champion WWF, and he was refusing to give the belt to Shawn Michaels because I don't think they liked each other, did they?
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, So he said, we're gonna do this match in Montreal, and then I'm gonna come out the next night at whatever show and say, yeah, I'm leaving, I'm dropping the belt. So whoever wants it, take it. Like,
Yeah.
but they fucking screwed him out of the match. Like he was supposed to win the match in Montreal.
Yeah, so
And the ref got fucking nobbled by Vince McMahon or whatever. He's like,
yeah, the ref
he gets
was
him down, you bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Yeah, so he never tapped. It was like a submission hold. He never tapped, and the referee rings the bell.
Yeah, it was his own hold, right? It was
Yeah.
the fucking, the sharpshooter.
Again, all of these things double as just, that's the fucking game we should have done.
Sharpshooter.
Is it a finishing move
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
finishing
yeah,
move?
yeah.
You know? Fuck. Missed opportunity.
Because the Undertaker had two, didn't he? He had the choke slam, and then it was the fucking two.
Again!
You know the way, like you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
some of the- where they go, they'd whisper each other. I think we need color.
Yeah.
And they would have the razor blades in their shorts to cut their own foreheads.
Yeah.
Somebody used to carry it in their mouth.
Yeah.
How the fuck, like?
I think
Well, I think most of these guys did jail time before, so they kind of had a good idea about it. Secrete a blade. Yeah.
I know what will make this match better. What's that? I'm going to rip my own forehead open with a razor blade.
Well, then you got the.
It would make for a better podcast, Pete.
Yeah.
Back in the days of the fucking Dusty Rhodes and all them.
No
you
holds
had,
barred.
no, you had the Atlanta Street Fight match, and they had bricks and bottles and fucking bats and then who was the fucking
Oh my god.
who was the one that would run up with a fucking hairdryer and a handful of talcum powder?
That wasn't Brutus the Barber Beefcake, was it?
I don't know.
Oh, he cut your hair off. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
The shears.
Yeah, with the shears.
But yeah, there was some fucking idiot who would run around with a fucking hairdryer.
I challenge you to a hairdryer match.
Yeah,
Right, let's do the quiz, boys.
Okay.
This is wrestling fake? So basically, I'm going to call out wrestling names, and you're going to tell me whether they're real or I made them up.
Is it shoot or a walk?
Yeah, exactly. So the first wrestler name, Beaver Cleavage, real or fake?
It's a walk.
Real.
It's a walk.
It's a real name.
Fuck off.
Beaver Cleavage was in the WWF, and it was a character. It was a character based on the boy in Leave It to Beaver.
Jesus Christ, that's bad.
Virgil the Kentucky Butcher, real or fake?
Real.
It's a walk.
It's real. He was in the WWF. Amish Roadkill.
It's a walk.
Real.
It's a walk.
It's real. Balls Mahoney.
Real.
It's a shoe.
It's real. Butch Nuggets Nevin.
Real.
It's a shoe.
It's fake. I made it up.
Butch Nuggets.
Mr. Ass.
Oh, that's real.
Real.
That's a shoe.
That's real, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sugar
remember
Dunkerton.
Mr. Ass.
What?
Sugar Dunkerton.
Real. Midget wrestler.
Ed.
Well, I'm just gonna go with him. Yeah, shoe.
Yeah, no, it's real. And it's actually, they got the character from Andre T, in the semi-pro movie. So they
Yeah,
nicknamed Sugar Dunkerton from him.
Fuck off.
Grizzly Redwood.
Real.
It's a walk.
It's real. Dave Whopper Steele.
Definitely real.
It's a shoe.
And it was a porn star.
It's fake. I made that one up.
Wow.
Michael McGillicuddy.
Real.
Walk.
This is a good story. He's real. He wrestled as Michael McGillicuddy in the WWE. He's the son of Mr. Perfect, but would not take the Henning name. And the mother's maiden name was McGillicuddy.
Why did he not?
Imagine, I don't want the Henning name. I'm Michael McGillicuddy.
Why would he not take the name?
Because of the split between the mother and the father. He
Oh,
didn't.
right, okay.
Lash LaRue.
That's
Definitely real.
Nah, that's got to be a drag queen or something.
That's
So?
real. Jonathan LaRue. Jonathan Lash LaRue was in WCW.
Oh my god.
Pez Watley.
Real.
Pez.
Pez Watley.
Like a Pez dispenser. That was his finishing move.
Yeah, giant.
Big fucking candy shot out of his throat.
Bing.
Pez, what do you
Shoot.
think? It's real, and his real name was Pezavan Watley, so he only just shortened up. Joe Slow and Low Morgan.
What?
Real.
Go slow and what?
Joe Slow and Low Morgan.
All right. I don't know. False.
It is fake. I made it up. The Yeti.
The Yeti?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
got to be a shoe.
Yeah, real.
It's real. He was in WCW. Loch Ness.
Shoe.
Real.
He was in WCW as well. Firebreaker Chip.
Real.
Work.
It's real. He was in WCW. Thurman Sparky Plug.
Got to be real.
Oh, work.
It's a real.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're not that creative.
Oh.
Bob Sparkplug Holly.
Because that was his finishing move, was to shove up.
Spark
Chili McFreeze.
Oil change and a spark plug.
No, that's got to be a fake.
Chili McFreeze.
That's
Real.
gotta be fake. Fake.
Chili McFreeze was one of the character names that they tried to get Stone Cold Steve Austin to be when he was
Oh
in
my
WCW.
god.
I wouldn't do it.
So real.
So real. Mario Punch Buggy Williams.
Real.
Yeah, it's got to be real.
He's fake. I made it up.
Oh my god. Punch Boogie's fake.
Mantor. Here's one for Chris. Mantor.
Oh, yeah.
Real.
Real.
He was in the WWF. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have said it was for me if it wasn't real.
Curry Man.
Curry Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds so fake.
Yeah.
There's no way that you'd.
It's so incredibly
yeah.
racist. That, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, real.
He's real.
You.
Jesus Christ, that's terrible.
Big Dick Johnson.
Definitely real.
Yeah, real.
He was real. And the last one. Small Package Dickie to Jock McTavish.
Real.
That's gotta be fake.
Of course it's fake.
See, but the thing is, after the Bill Murray,
Jock McTavish.
McTavish.
I met Roddy Piper.
What?
Yes.
Really,
on.
Roddy Piper?
Yep.
A Piper's Pit?
Yes. Exactly that. I was at a horror convention actually. In
Whoa.
Oh, he was in a fucking movie. wasn't
They
he?
Live.
They Live.
Yeah, which is one of the absolute best films.
Sorry, Chris,
ever.
hold on a second,
What?
Chris. Did you say a horror convention?
Yes, it was a horror film
hold on.
convention. Wait, hold on. Okay,
Hold
so
on, just 2 seconds.
ask your question.
What did you
I
go
thought
with?
I thought you said you were at a hoarder convention. I was like, what?
That wouldn't work, I don't think.
Yeah, no one would be able to get in the door.
Yeah, well, and it's not like, what do you take from your house to take to a horror convention?
Hoarder con. Hoarder con.
That's not a convention. That's an intervention to get somebody to take their shit somewhere to a fucking, warehouse. No, it was,
Roddy Piper was at Hoarder Con. How down on his luck is he?
Yeah, his house is full of bagpipes and kills.
Who could forget Roddy's episode in Celebrity Hoarders? He's got the ring in his bedroom.
Go
So you probably, you may or may not feel bad about this at this point, but this was the first time he had cancer. So anyway,
Wait, is he a bad guy?
huh?
Is he a bad guy?
No, No. That's the thing. Well, no, because you're ripping the piss on the guy, and he was out there at this fucking convention with cancer. So anyway, no, it was this convention for all these horror films and everything else, and like they had all but one of the Jasons from across all of the Friday the 13th films.
Was it different Jasons?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't the same guy.
No. And the original Michael Myers, right? This guy called Tony Morano, it was one of the funniest people I've ever had the opportunity to hang out for a weekend with, because it was really funny, because he was talking about that somebody else had gotten him to do these conventions because he hadn't been doing them, and they're like, dude, you could be making fucking bank doing this. And he's like, oh, doing what? Nobody saw me. I was behind the damn mask. Nobody's gonna know who I. Dude, they will know who you are.
Yeah.
Just go and do it. So he's like, so whatever. So I figured I'd come out here, and I've done a couple of them now. And it's like, I don't really want to. And then his phone starts ringing, and it's the Halloween theme playing.
Deadly.
And we're all sitting there in this hotel room. We're like, yeah. Oh, I didn't really want to do it. He's like, yeah, my wife did that, man. That was not me. So for the rest of the weekend, I'm making fun of the original Mike Myers for having this fucking stupid ringtone, But I was there. I was supporting the absolute 100% worst project I've ever worked on. It was a horror film that I was in Memphis.
With this Zombie Santa?
Oh no, that was brilliant. That was one of my favorites, man. Being Zombie Santa in Silent Night, Zombie Night was fucking fantastic. Silent Night, Zombie Night, fantastic. Love being in that. Yeah. Sean Kane, if you're out there listening, I love you, man. Anyway, so no, this is this terrible fucking thing that I did. I'm still ashamed of it to this day. Half the people who were involved in it threatened to sue the producer if it came out, right?
I think you told me about this one.
Eileen Dietz. I will get back to Roddy Piper, I swear. Eileen Dietz, who was the body double / face of Pazuzu in The Exorcist.
Ooh,
right? Wow. She was the one who, when
big time in it.
She was, because the first night talking to this woman, right? And she's like, like when Reagan's jamming herself in the vagina with the crucifix. That was me, because they didn't want little 12-year-old Linda Blair screaming "fuck me, Jesus." I was like, oh wow, cool, great meeting you. So anyway. She's a lovely woman, but and tiny. She's like this big. Oh. Yeah. Well, she's the size of a 12-year-old girl.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, so that's how I ended up at this thing, and hanging out with all these fucking horror icons and everything. And the guy that was the producer of this film, his brother was actually the one that was running the convention, right? So he and his brother were both part of it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey man, do you want to meet Roddy Piper?" And I was like, "Do I want to meet Roddy Piper? Are you fucking kidding me?" Obviously, And he was over. He was signing autographs, and we kind of get around over to him, and they're like, "Hey, this is Chris. He was in my movie and everything." And Roddy Piper gets up out of his chair, and he looks really tired, and he gets up out of his chair, and he's like, "Hey man, really nice to meet you. Sir, are you having fun, here, for the weekend?" I was like, "Yeah, well, God, this is really great. It's just, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
This is really great to get to meet you." And he says, "Oh yeah, I love doing stuff like this. I really do." And he's like, "Sorry, I gotta sign some things." And every person that walked up to the table, he was just really enthusiastic and really appreciative and everything else. And then, like, as soon as the crowd would break, just watch him just sag. He's just like,
Oh Jesus.
and just, it's just like, sorry, I'm not feeling really well, but I'm just, I'm trying to really keep it together. Dude's going through fucking chemo and everything, but every single person who walked up to that table, he was just fucking full on 100%. And then he beat that round, and then died a couple of years ago. But
what was his finishing move?
Cancer.
I moved on to cooler things like Dungeons and Dragons. And,
And on that bombshell.
Ready to